Yo, what's good with y'all? Today I want to talk about prayer because I hold to the belief system that prayer does not work. I'm gonna explain why, right? So for starters, you have to understand that we're the only species that could talk, obviously. So let's take us out the equation. Bad events have predated humanity when it comes to earthquakes or natural disasters in itself and terminal illnesses. And species were them back then, so they had to go through that. They cannot sit back and pray for a supernatural event to happen. So what do? They adapted to their environment, or they changed their environment, or they were extinct or critically endangered. Same thing with us humans. If we were in an unfavorable environment, we cannot just sit back and pray because we would go extinct or would be critically endangered. And let's take this back to the transatlantic slave. That first part was just talking about the survival. Survival part, you must do it yourself. You cannot pray for anything supernatural to occur. So let's now talk about something else, right? When it comes to the transatlantic slave. Why I mention that is because 123 countries agreed that was the worst crime against humanity in the history. Right? And they knew God. They were praying to God, and God never answered no prayer. And the first thing a lot of people mention is the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment did not end slavery, right? It didn't abolish no slavery. Well, apologies, I'm sorry. It abolished a part of slavery. It didn't abolish slavery in general. It regulated another part of slavery, and all it did was disperse slavery. Because guess what? After the 13th Amendment, you still had the KKK, you still had Jim Crow law, segregation, and discrimination. And when you look at slavery, you understand that there was two forms of slavery: sex slaves and mental slaves, all which exist today. Nothing ever ended. All it did was just change over time. So if God didn't answer their prayers, and that was the worst thing that happened in human history, why would he answer your prayers? Why would he deem your unnecessary prayer based on them? Even if your prayer is severe, it's not as severe as theirs. We only know some of what they went through, not even all of it. And he answered yours over theirs. Impossible. It's not going to happen. And I look at prayer as also a humiliation ritual. Why must I get on my hands and knees and beg you for something? Why? Why don't you deem me something? Why don't you deem me worthy enough for you to do it beforehand? Why must I do something to that extremity of seriousness to have something done for me? Right? I understand that basically the real world's still gonna happen. I still have to get up and go to school soon. Then I have to get up and go to work. It's never ending, right? The real world is gonna happen regardless. Time is gonna consistently move, and I have to consistently move with it. Or I'm gonna be left behind, right? With that being said, there's no amount of praying I could do that's gonna get me out of that cycle. So I might as well just live it and understand that there's nothing that's going to get me out of it. So what's the point in praying? Right? Because people tell you sometimes praying is for to get inside of God's will. But you can't do anything outside of God's will. And God will never change his will for you. Everything's already written and predetermined. Right? So praying is a useless tactic they use to keep you stuck. Right? Thinking that something supernatural is going to come save you and going to come help you. Instead of you trying to do it yourself. And let's say you can't. Let's say it's out of your control. Then it's inevitable. You can get the help that others can offer you. Instead of that, all you can do is just sit back and think, maybe my body can take it away. But some things is so far gone, there is no saving you. There is no supernatural event that's going to stop in and going to save you. Right? Because all it does is now people will take that and go to different routes. Some people will take that and be like, God has all the glory. Other people take that was, why did God save you and not save this other person? Right? No matter the age or what, right? If they both have the same viewpoint on God, why would God choose one over the other? I put it as the prayer did not matter. It's about what God has already written. God's never going to change his will. So praying is to no avail. It's a human-made thing that we made up for no apparent reason. I see no benefit to it. But yeah, like I said, that's just my belief. I just want to come here and say, like I said, why personally I believe you shouldn't pray and why I don't pray. But yeah, I'm out, y'all.